Hello everyone, my name is Nikita and I am from the Bodhi Academy. Today we are going to continue the chapter Control and Coordination from 10th Standard Science textbook. Okay, last time we had done the first part of the chapter, that is coordination in animals. Today we are going to see how the plants coordinate, okay, and also we are going to see what are the different hormones produced in the animals. Okay. So we are going to do coordination in plants today. Now we have already seen how coordination happens in the animals. Okay, it happens via the nervous system. Okay, like any other system for different functions in the body of the animals have nervous system for control and coordination. Now what do we think about plants? Okay, what we can say about it? Plants also have some system for coordination? No, right? There is no such tissue for coordination. So how do these plants actually coordinate? Okay. Now, first of all, before going to this, we need to see what types of coordination is required in the plant and how do they respond. Okay, what is the requirement for the responding to the environment of the plants. Now the plants, we studied that whatever the effects of the environment, whatever affects whatever happens in the environment, when it affects an organism, it is called as a stimuli. Okay, and this stimuli is also affected to the plant. Okay, so plants also have to respond to this stimuli. Okay, they respond to the stimuli. Now the very famous example over here is the touch me not plant. Okay, which is called as chui mui. Now this touch me not plant, if we have noticed that when you touch the plant, what happens is that it starts drooping, okay, and it starts closing its leaves. Okay, so that is also a response to the stimuli. So now what is the stimuli over here? The stimuli over here is the touch, and after it senses the touch, it begins to fold and droop. Okay, so that is one kind of movement. Okay, so that is one kind of movement. Now second kind of movement which we see in the plants is that when the seed, okay, from a small seed, the seed germinate, okay, the roots go down and the stem comes up. Okay, so there are movements. One example of the movement is the touch me not plant, how it responds to the stimuli. Okay, and second movement is the germination of seed. Germination of seed to form the actual plant, wherein the root will go down and the stem will come up. Okay, so we notice that there is movement in both these conditions, right? In this situation also there is movement, and in the second situation also there is movement. But what is the difference in both of these movements? The main difference is that the growth. Okay, this situation, this movement is growth independent, means in this movement there is no growth taking place. Okay, growth independent. Okay, and in the second condition it is growth dependent, means okay, means that this movement is leading to growth. So there are two types of movements seen in the plants. One is growth independent and the second one is growth dependent. Okay, now we'll see how do they respond to the stimulus. Okay, so what are these responses? Okay, how do they respond to the stimulus? We know that the apparent movement happens at a, so the whenever a plant is touched, okay, whenever this touch me not plant is touched, the part which shows movement is different from the part which is touched. Okay, so it is because of some electrical chemical means which conveys the information from cell to cell. Okay, so there is a chemical produced which is moving from cell to cell, producing an electrical signal, and because of which it gives a signal for the plant to droop. Okay, so mostly the response in the plants happens due to production of chemicals. Okay, and the site at which the chemical is produced is different from the site at which the plant is touched. So in the organism, in an organism, that is in humans, okay, or in animals, it is the electrical impulse which is produced and it transfers to the nervous cells only, to the nerve cells only. Over here it is a particular chemical which is produced, which goes to a particular cell, okay, to that particular cell which has to change the shape, or which has to droop. Okay, so that is the immediate response to stimulus. Now movement due to growth. Okay, okay, now we know that when a plant is growing, okay, when a plant is growing, it is growing in response to a stimulus. Okay, now if the plant is growing in the forward, like for example the stems are growing in the forward direction, in this direction. Okay, now what is the stimulus which is making this plant grow in this direction? The stimulus over here is the sun. Okay, and the growth is called as tropism. The growth is called as tropism. The stimulus over here is the sun. So now the plant, the top part of the plant, the stem is growing towards the sun. So this is called as positive phototropism. Positive phototropism. Now we know that if the plant growth is not just upward, but the plant is growing downwards also in the form of roots. Okay, that is inside the soil. It is growing in the form of roots inside the soil. Now if this is positive phototropism, the downward movement, okay, the downward movement becomes negative phototropism, because it is opposing the sun as the stimulus. Okay, now what is the stimulus for these roots? Okay, the stimulus for these roots, why are the roots growing downwards and not upwards towards the sun? Okay, what is pulling them downwards? It is the geothermal force. Okay, it is the earth which is pulling them downwards. So this is called as positive geotropism, because the earth is the stimulus over here which pulls it downwards. Okay, and why is the plant going up and not growing downwards? Okay, it is because it is negative geotropism. Okay, so this is negative geotropism. Okay, so this is negative geotropism. So growth is called as tropism over here. We can also see other tropism like hydrotropism, wherein the cells change their shape in response to the level of water. And also we see chemotropism. Okay, chemotropism is seen in the sexual reproduction in the plants. Okay, in the plants wherein the pollen tube starts growing towards the ovule. Okay, the pollen tube, it produces a chemical which signals it to grow towards the ovule. So because the chemical is produced, it is called as chemotropism. Okay, so that is chemotropism. Okay, so this is how the plants, this is how the tropism, this is how the movement due to growth happens in response to the different stimulus. Okay. Okay, so now we had when we were learning the coordination in animal parts, we had studied about electrical impulses, right? So those are the ones which travel and give the information. So for the growth in the plants, okay, electrical impulse doesn't have any role to play, but what is responsible for growth in the plants are the hormones. Okay, different hormones are produced in the plant cells, because of which one, each hormone is responsible for a particular function, because of which the plant is growing properly. Okay, so the first hormone which we will study is auxin. Okay, auxin is majorly involved in the, okay, it is involved in the growing the length of the plant, okay, the length of the shoot. So what it is, it detects light. Now how plants grow? We know that plants grow only when photosynthesis happens. So this hormone called auxin, it is synthesized at the shoot tip. It helps the cell to grow longer, and it detects light. Okay, so it detects light and helps the grow longer. Okay, now we can see, we have noticed that many a times a plant, it looks like it is bending towards the sun. Okay, so what do you think why it is happening? Okay, so why do you think the plant is look, it is appeared to us as if it is bending towards the sun? Okay, now this is the plant, and it is receiving sunlight at this part of the plant. Okay, so what happens is that if here in this side of the plant there is auxin and the plant is receiving sunlight, so what happens is that auxin, when it detects the sunlight, it shifts itself to the other side. Okay, and auxin concentration over here now increases. Okay, auxin concentration over here increases, so it goes to the shady side of the plant. Okay, so what happens first the plant, the side which is exposed to the sunlight, that side of the plant, over there auxin is present. Okay, so when it detects light, okay, when auxin detects light, it moves to the shady part of the plant, and over there the concentration of auxin increases. Okay, over here the concentration of auxin increases, and there is more growth at this part, there is more growth at this part, because of which the plant bends. Okay, the plant bends and it looks as if the plant is bending towards the sun. Okay, more growth and the plant bends. Okay, and it appears as if the plant is bending towards the sun. So this is the reason. Now the second hormone which we need to study is the gibberellins, which also helps in the growth of the stem. Okay, so that is also a growth hormone which helps in the growth of the stem. So gibberellins are involved in growth of the stem. The next hormone is cytokinin, which helps in the cell division, that it is natural, then they are present in greater concentration when in the areas of rapid cell division such as fruits and seeds. Okay, so the third hormone is cytokinins, which the major role of cytokinins is to promote cell division. So this hormone is present, actively present naturally in the parts of the plant which are always in dividing form. Okay, next hormone is the abscisic acid. Now what is this abscisic acid? This is an inhibitory hormone. Okay, this hormone is the one which will tell the plant when it has to stop growing. Acid, it inhibits growth. Majorly when it is involved in the drooping of the leaves and flowers. Okay, so that is the abscisic acid. So these are the some of the hormones which are present in the plants and they help in the proper growth of the plants. Okay, so now how the plants have hormones, the same way hormones are present in the animals, and they also help in the proper growth and development of the growth development and other functions of the animals. Okay, in okay majorly the hormones are also present in humans and animals. Now the first hormone is the adrenaline hormone, which is directly secreted into the blood by the adrenal hormone, adrenal gland. Okay, now what is this adrenaline hormone? Okay, now whenever we see a dangerous situation, what happens to our body is that there are some changes in our body. Okay, for example, if we see a dangerous animal which is coming behind us, what we'll do is immediate action, we will start running. Okay, along with running, what will happen in our body is that now we will also, there will be faster heart beating. Okay, so all these actions, all these changes will occur in our body. Now, what are these changes? Why are these changes occurring? This is because whenever we see a dangerous situation, okay, what happens is that, for example, if we see a dangerous animal coming behind us, what will be our immediate action? We will start running. Okay, and after we start running, we will also see that we can run faster, and secondly, our heart, okay, our heart is the heart is beating very faster. Okay, so why are this changing occurring in our body? Okay, this changing occurring in our body because of the hormone adrenaline, which is produced inside the blood. Okay, our heart beats faster because it has to supply more and more oxygen to our muscles. These muscles have to gain energy and it has to move faster. Okay, then blood to the digestive system and the skin is reduced due to contraction of muscles around small arteries in these organs. Okay, so all these changes are occurring in our body for our making our body active and ready so that we are able to cope with the situation. Okay, so that was adrenaline hormone. Now the next hormone is the thyroxine hormone, which is produced in the thyroxine hormone produced by the thyroid gland. Okay, so from hormones in animals, first one you have is the adrenaline. produced by the adrenal gland. Second is the thyroxine hormone produced by the thyroid gland. Okay, now how is this thyroxine hormone helping us? Thyroxine is majorly used for the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, okay, in our body. And this thyroxine hormone, for the production of this thyroxine hormone, you require iodine. Okay, iodine should be present in our diet for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine. Now, whenever we don't consume essential amounts of iodine, we will be suffering from the lack of thyroxine hormone. Okay, and the disease which is caused is called as goiter. Okay, goiter is the swelling of the neck. Swelling of the neck. Okay, so thyroxine hormone is produced by thyroid gland, and what is important for that is the iodine. Okay, and if iodine is not consumed in the diet in essential amounts, then we will be suffering from goiter, which is a swelling of the neck. And now the last hormone is the growth hormone, which is produced by the pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland produces the growth hormone. Okay, this hormone, okay, if it is produced in large quantities, it causes the gigantism, means the height will be abnormally very large. And if it is in lesser quantities, it is causing dwarfism. Okay, so these are the hormones in animals: adrenaline, thyroxine, growth hormone, which are produced by the different glands. Okay, so this was the last part of the chapter. Now the major part important over here is the hormones, the glands by which they are produced, and their functions. Okay, so this was what the coordination in plants is, and how hormones are produced in the animals. Okay, so this was that which was in this chapter, which we need to focus. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel.